Everybody, it's Carrie with Reseller Revenue. If you don't know me, I'm hopefully going to hit the 250K mark this week for 2025 in jewelry sales. I mostly sell vintage costume jewelry. I am not an expert. I am a reseller. I started in 2021 selling everything. And then in 2022, I started my 2,000 item store from scratch back over because it was a mess. It didn't have SKUs properly. I couldn't find things. I had storage issues. And then I started with jewelry. I knew nothing about jewelry. I was completely lost. And I just decided I'm going to dig in and I'm going to learn this. So I don't wear jewelry. I'm a farm girl. I don't buy jewelry except to resell it. And I've learned a lot. So I know you guys can too, but it doesn't make me an expert as far as like pronunciation or spelling. And, I'm just kind of muddling my way through this. I do, however, study at least 1 hour a day. I study eBay solds in my niche. And I think that is so important for the success of reselling. So that's how I catch things that maybe other people don't at estate sales or online, or so that I know what I'm doing when I'm sourcing. If you don't know what you're looking at when you're outsourcing, it gets to be hard to find those things that maybe other people miss that might sell for $100, $200. So I started this video out kind of deep diving for Coro because I've really felt like Coro is kind of on the way up a little bit more than it was. So I wanted to know, is it all Coro or is it earrings? It is a certain style? Is it a certain signature? And then I started noticing that some of these other brands that of brooches in particular that were doing really well. And I don't really pay attention. I mean, I do, but I don't. I really enjoy some Ultrafari, and I'll probably do a video on Ultrafari because I love it. In fact, throughout the years, I'll probably do lots of Ultrafari. It's just one of my favorite makers. I love the old fur clips and the really old under the seat. I just like it. Anyway, so in the 14 karat gold and the Chanel and Gucci and stuff, we know that stuff's valuable. That's not, to me, that's not as worthy of time to go over with everyone. I want to, and also the things are in the multi thousands. Can we find them? Absolutely, they're out there. Are they likely for us always to find? No, not really. So I like to go over some of the higher dollar, but the more reasonable ones that maybe we could actually find sitting around at a flea market or a estate sale that somebody else might miss. So let me see. Hopefully the share's here. All right. So I'm going to start from actually, I want to start from the other end because the spoiler alert on that one, I guess. So this is a Bouche. And if I mispronounce things, guys, I'm sorry. It's just, I'm like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm just trudging my way through here. And this is a sterling silver ballerina. I have had a Bouche sterling silver ballerina, not this exact one, but I have had it before. And there it is, signed sterling with the Bouche mark. And I almost missed mine because the mark was really worn off. And I paid $6, I think, for it because it just was a little ballerina brooch. And they were really stuck on the fact, like, well, it's sterling. And I was like, okay, that's fabulous. But it wasn't the sterling that was really making it valuable. It was the stamp. So I did not look to see what offer they took, but this is a pretty good price and definitely one to look for. This one, we can all find Bakelite. Bakelite's out there. I have had similar pieces of Bakelite. This one is articulated at the joints, and his features are still in place. So the paint hasn't all worn off. It looks like a little soldier. I think it looks really good. I would use soldier in the title as a keyword. And here, let's scroll down and see what they tell us about it. They tell us that it is in. So my issue with this listing, and whenever I call out listings, really sorry if it's yours. It's just my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. But it says that it's a book piece. But if you're going to tell me it's a book piece, let me see if they give me. I don't think they did give me any pictures. If you tell me it's a book piece, I'd love to know what book it's in. And even a picture of it in the book. But if you don't have that, that's great. Tell me what book we're referencing for a book piece. If I really had to guess, I would say, and they did use the word soldier, so I'm sorry. I would really think maybe they just saw another listing that said book piece and just maybe copied it and don't know what book it's in. I don't ever do that because what if the other person's incorrect, right? So anyway, that's my little spiel there. If I'm going to list something as Bakelite, you better believe it. I use semi-chrome or 409 to do the check to make sure that it came off that nicotine yellow, but make sure it's clean. So it's not actually nicotine yellow that you're rubbing off, but make sure it's the semi-chrome reacting to it, and then you get that yellowy color on the cotton ball or the swab that you're using. So anyway, nice piece. I love the articulated Bakelite and the figural Bakelites. This one kind of actually led me down the fact that I'm going to probably make a Lucinda pin, like the best of Lucinda, because I don't know that I knew that there were very many that were in like the $300-400 mark. So like that's pretty cool. It's a pet pin. And I need to look more into why these bring so much, or if it's just the pet pins, or what's making it to be the bet. And it says here in the seller notes that she has a lot of 410 Lucinda pins. So she's probably learning a whole lot about Lucinda pins right now. Anyway, I thought that was really interesting, and I believe there's another one in here too that was also a Lucinda pin. Kind of blew me away a little bit. So here is a vintage Juliana and a D&E blue pink Rivoli brooch. Says the book piece also. Very nice colors. Really good there. Let me see what the back looks like. So there is not the standard screaming this is Juliana. I did not do any research on this to go see if it's Juliana. It very well may be. But there isn't any of the normal riveting and things that just really make it stand out as a Juliana. It says, let's see if the book says, when doing research, other than identical pieces, say they're book pieces, but I don't know the page. So like I said, if I'm going to say something is a book piece, I am 100% going to tell you what the book is and what page you can find it on and get a picture of it if possible. Same with here. I don't spam the themes. Again, sorry if this is your listing. I don't know that this is Juliana, but it did bring good price. It's a beautiful, beautiful brooch. Let's hope for the buyer it was. Here is an antique check filigree bracelet and brooch. I just thought this was really pretty. I think if I had to guess, the pictures probably don't do them justice. Very nice piece. Really, I love the enameling. Throw enameling and rhinestones and glass and stuff together. I just love it. It looked to be in very good condition. Here it says, oh, we got another Juliana. Juliana in general, though, I feel like the prices are coming down. So I included these because they were unique, and I feel like maybe they would be bringing more than what the average ones are. But I think overall, Juliana, the market's a little soft right now. Doesn't mean it won't come back. Not a hater, just noticing. Look at those embedded flowers in the glass. Super unique, super cool. Let me see the back on this one. So again, I'm not a Juliana expert. It does have the open back stones. Let's see if this one shows us anything that we need to know about I always try to put verified if I sell Juliana, and then I put the verification number from the Is It Juliana website in the listing, if at all possible. Says it's shown in the Juliana database, but I don't see where it says what the verification number is or whatever. Like I said, I have no idea. It would not shock me if this was Juliana, but I don't have that right off the tip of I always have to look them up myself. But that was a pretty good higher price sale there. Here is a Bill Smith for Laguna flower. And I can tell you that if I saw this just laying on a table, I would probably scout right over it. So good learning lesson for me on this one. Let's see if it shows us the mark. Right here, it says Bill Smith for Laguna. I would have missed this one, guys. I would have left it on the table, or maybe I would have picked it up, but I wouldn't have known what I had. So let's see if it tells us anything else about it down here. No, which is fine. But that was just a brand that I mean, of course I'm aware of Laguna, but I wasn't aware of this higher end. Vintage brooch, rhinestone, and antique gold tone filigree brooch here. This one I thought commanded pretty good price, and it was on auction. I wondered if they thought maybe it was gold, but it is a very nice layered piece. But and it's got the old tube hinge there. I don't know. That one kind of surprised me. It shocked me that brought so much money. Let's see if it says anything about it being. Doesn't say it's gold. It says gold tone, in fact. I don't know. Good for that seller, though. That's awesome. It was very nice piece there. But Here's a lunch at the Ritz. I love old lunch at the Ritz. I'm a big fan. You only get two signatures here, but I'm not sure what the offer was again, but I imagine it was pretty good. You know, it's got the I wanna pay later in there, so I thought that was kind of cool. Some of the old lunch at the Ritz can be very valuable. Here is another ultra rare Lucinda pin. It is a little bitty Christmas tree. Look how small that is. It's got the little sticker on the back. If you did look that up, I feel like we could miss that real easy. So good for that seller also. Here is a Carl art brooch. I feel like we find these a lot, so I wanted to include it. There is where it says the 10 karat. Lots of times they're gold filled. Lots of times the Carl arts, and also that's the mark for Carl art, the C and the A and the arrow through it. So keep an eye out that some of them can be 10 karat, and that changes the value dramatically. So because just in melt value, then you have a good chunk of money, not just the costume market. So just know that those are out there and that they bring some decent money. This is a Coro brooch, this is how I think I started this whole rabbit hole I was down during my research the other day. Boy, just beautiful condition. This brooch has been well taken care of, and the stones are nice and red, and it's like a layered. See how it's like a 3D? They did a good job of showing that. Very beautiful brooch. I don't know what the offer was, of course, but this was a higher end Coro, and the Coro dancers do bring pretty good money. So, they took some nice pictures to show us that too. So, the Coro craft. So, like I said, this is how this all got started. Coro craft. I like to find things that are like people just think are everyday vintage names, and they don't put a lot of value on them. So this seller has a ton of feedback, good feedback. It's awesome. And they only took two pictures. Apparently only took two pictures to get this sold for this high price of $785. Great. I will keep my eye out. I've never seen this one, but let's see if it says anything else. It doesn't say much. That's fine. Looks great. Keep your eyes open for that one. This one, I do love William Spratley. I don't know that I've ever actually found one in person, but that doesn't mean I couldn't. But if I didn't know they were out there and I didn't know their value, I may not be willing to pay up to, there's this Spratling Silver is the little stamp there. And then it says it right there too. So we need to be aware that some of these that look pretty ordinary can bring things like $800. This went through authenticity guarantee. I don't know. Just be aware that those Spratling pieces can be really good money, because I would pay up for that so that I could get the, higher dollar. There's a lot of paninos that are bringing really good money too, and a lot of them are set in sterling. But these, usually it's the vibrant colors, the ones that are a little bit more unique, that are in really good condition. I'll sell the ones that are kind of messed up, but if you want the $700, I think we're going for a little bit better condition and the cool colors and the rhinestones all intact. That was pretty good for $700. This is got the heavy breathing going on. Sorry, it's the old Frenchie beside me. The Signer Cheetah Head Brooch, $679. Good job. I will tell you, there are a lot, and I mean a lot of knockoffs of things just like this. These iconic pieces that are easy to fake, and they are faked. So do not get one of these and think, oh my gosh, it's an unsigned signer piece. Are there unsigned signer pieces? There are. However, this one, it kind of shows it's signed, right? And Temu and Alibaba and all these, AliExpress, whatever these places are called, are producing new jewelry that looks super similar to, I would say, signer. I've seen a lot of them in the Hattie Carnegie, where people have them listed as Hattie Carnegie pieces, and they're not. They're definitely reproductions. And they can actually even have the signature on them and be fake. So if the backs are wrong, the texture's wrong, if they are different, you need to question them, because there are so many knockoffs and fakes on eBay right now of really, well-known pieces like this. And it really bothers me. That one sold for $679. Here's a Sandor sterling brooch. Look how simple this looks. Look at this. How many of us would just walk right on by that enamel flower brooch sitting on that table, depending on what size it is, which I can't really tell because we don't have measurements. But I would have missed out on this, guys. It sold for $685. Somebody knew what they were doing. And now when we see it again, you will too. This is how I research every day. This is just pulling out of one day's worth of research that I did. Every day I search the solds, and I search the solds on the platform I'm selling on. So I'm searching the solds on eBay by category, by designer, by things I know I can find, because how else am I going to know what are the good things or how to price things or indicators of, or worse yet, the things that, are getting knocked off? I wouldn't know if I don't look every single day. It also helps keep me up on trends. So this is a really cool piece, and it's green glass set. Brought $676.88 on auction. Pretty unique. People love that striped glass too. I sell quite a bit of it, but not like that. So that was a pretty cool auction. This one, yeah, it stumped me. I don't know. It might be because of just the intricate molded glass. But tell me in the comments, would you guys have known that that was going to go for $609? And it says gold tone. It does not say gold. The only thing I can think of, it's kind of got that pie crust. I don't know. I know I use bad terms, guys. I know I just, make up these things. Like a pie crust, like a cupcake cups. And we know who makes those, and it does look really well made. Is it possible? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't research it, but it made me take note, right? So tell me what you think about this brooch. Is that why? Or is it just because it's a really well made, um, it says high end. Yeah. I wonder if they're thinking it's Shriner. I'm not gonna even say it. I feel like I get slaughtered every time I try to say something like that, but I don't know. It kind of had a few key indicators. I don't know enough about Shriner to tell you the truth to be able to say things like that. But hey, that was an awesome sale, I thought. Here's a Douget enamel trembler brooch. So if you don't know what a trembler brooch is, that's when something inside of it moves. I'm not sure where the movement is on this one, probably the inside of that flower. So if my guess, this probably bounces around a little, usually has like a little spring in it that makes your brooch a trembler. So if you have a trembler brooch, make sure that you're using that keyword because people search and collect trembler brooches. This one has great color, really good color. Looks like the main stones are all there. It's missing a few little ones, but they're clear ones. That's an easy fix if somebody chooses to. It's an old pot metal style. And this seller sells a lot of really great high-end stuff. And she does a great job with her listings too. So that mommy loves Michaela. So $599.99. Awesome. This is a little Rasia Sterling Man from Mars brooch. This also I could definitely see being left behind on a table. I bet it's not very big. I guess I don't really know because I don't have the measurements. If they did give them, I missed it. But all the little stones are there, which is great. Rasia has some great higher end brooches. Keep an eye out for them because I do think sometimes it's a lesser known brand to people that aren't maybe well versed in vintage jewelry. So just keep your eyes out. Notice also that they knew to name it the Man from Mars. And sometimes when we're able to name something in a collection, it does help our buyers find it. I think I'm going to do a series or some videos on like Sarah Coventry. What are the different lines? What were they called? What can we name them so that we know what to attribute them to? And I feel like sometimes that really does give our listings more value because I do try to like Avon and Sarah Coventry and some of those maybe not quite high-end brands and Trifari especially, right? They have all the different like Under the Sea and all the different ones. So anyway, I'm off track again. Here's a Coro craft, which was in my research that I was doing. And it's a hands and heart, and what a cool brooch. Nice and blue. People love blue. People love hand jewelry. So it had a lot of great things going for it, but I'm not sure what the offer was. They started it at $8.99. They took an offer on that, but really cool piece. I thought it was really neat. This one, I must have just I don't really know, guys. I must have hit the wrong button, actually. I'm sorry. That one's a mystery. Gotta look it up yourself. So there is a Coro Craft Royal Oaks. See how they used, I wouldn't have used the maybe the characters in there because I think it screws with eBay's search sometimes, but naming it helps. So there's a Coro Craft Royal Oaks Duet. And we know what a duet is. And if you don't, let me show you the back. Not all brooches that look like duets or that come in two pieces are Coro duet pieces. I see that all the time. I feel like if they come apart in two pieces, people automatically think they're Coro duets and they're not. Like Trifari had their paper, were they paper mates? Paper mates. I think. I don't know. Sorry. I did not have that prepared. It didn't show the back. But anyway, these two pieces would come apart on a clip that was signed Coro Duet, and they would come apart into two separate pieces, so you could wear them separate or you could wear them together. And even the frames of those Coro Duets will bring about 30, 40 bucks. So absolutely list them if you can find the frame. Here's a Bouche piece, a zebra. I see this one knocked off all the time, so beware. However, if you have the real deal, they could be worth really good money. This one sold on auction for $1,128. And you will notice, see, there's little yellowing stones. That's okay. Do not throw out these great brooches because they have some yellowing stones. Also, in my opinion, if you are not an expert, I would not try to throw in rhinestones to try to replace them. I will let an expert that wants to buy this from me repair it if they want, or they will leave it how it is. Just leave things alone, especially if they're really valuable. Let me see if we can get, there is the Bouche signature right there. Know that signature because it's a good one. And there's the back. It wasn't really nice condition, but also be aware that these are coming out in other, knockoff reproduction type of things. So people find these and think, oh, it's an unmarked Bouche. And yet, no, it was probably from AliExpress. So just be aware. And it's just a lot of handling jewelry. I handle hundreds of pounds a week sometimes of jewelry. It's just handling it, finding it, seeing it, researching it, knowing what I go to antique malls and I ask to see out of the case some of the more high-end things that maybe I don't usually come across because I want to feel it. I want to touch it. I want to see it. I want to see if it's exact. And lots of times I realize they don't know what they're talking about. That happens all the time when I see they mislabel things. But there are some people that have amazing jewelry at antique malls, and I want to, that's just like a museum for us to be able to learn from. So use your own past history, your knowledge, and then like take a picture of it and go research it when you get home. So here is a very cool little donkey. And never in a million years would I have thought that this would have gone for $1,199.99. Would I picked it up anyway? Probably, depending on a price, but would I paid $200 for it at a state sale? No, because I didn't know better. So now I do know better. And this will stick with me, and I will remember it if I ever see this. I'm not even going to try to say his name because people would just have a heyday with it, and I have no idea what's right and what's wrong, so I don't even know how to say it. But things like this is how we learn. This is how we get better. This is how you go from listing all your Avon and your Sarah Coventry. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but when that's our core business and we choose to get elevated, because there's actually people that make really good businesses just selling those type of brands. This is how we get there. We learn by researching solds. We learn by going in the antique malls. We go to the flea markets. Sometimes we buy a lot and then we pick through it and we research it. I try to be at the level where I am researching ahead of time. So I want to have that knowledge in my head for the bulk of it before I purchase it. It also helps save me money because I'm not making bad purchases. So if you find yourself throwing out a lot of jewelry due to condition or you didn't know better, you'll start realizing what was bad about that. It's not like don't ever make bad buys. That would be fantastic. I hope you guys all follow that advice. Me, myself, I'm sure I have my share of bad buys ahead of me. I try really hard not to. But when I have one, I ask myself, what made it a bad buy? Did I not pay enough attention to condition? Did I not ask to see the backs? Was it just that I overpaid for it? It was good stuff, but by the time I paid like shipping and I paid a buyer's fee, maybe it just wasn't worth the money. That happens all the time. That's a pretty, standard thing. That's why I try to have that all figured out ahead of time. So maybe it was good, but I overpaid. Maybe, it was missing rhinestones that I didn't catch it. Maybe I didn't ask the right questions. Maybe there's just all sorts of things. Maybe you get it and you realize by the weight something's off, that it's a knockoff and you thought it was an original. All we can do is learn from those mistakes. And then that will propel us forward in our business. It will increase how much money we make. It will decrease our mistakes. And things all start coming together. It doesn't happen overnight. I would say there was something magical about this third year. 2025 has been a good year where I finally feel like I know what I'm looking at. I know what I'm looking for. I know, does it mean I don't make mistakes? Oh, heck no. I make mistakes. Like it happens. but I make less mistakes and I'm making less expensive mistakes. I'm learning that the low cost of goods is really important. And I know that that seems counterproductive because we want better things, and I do want better things. But boy, keeping that cost of goods when selling full time on eBay is really important, and I need to keep it low. So making sure that we know our numbers, making sure that we're not just churning money, but we're earning money. We're just turning it over and over and over. It just doesn't make any sense because then we're just doing it for free. So, but learning the jewelry by touching, seeing, feeling, and asking questions. And I love listening to people talk about jewelry, especially Jason Adams. Like, I wish I could just like sit and have osmosis from him. I really feel like he gives the best information out there as far as on YouTube. Lots of his stuff I'm never going to be able to find, but he's really knowledgeable. And I think he gives good advice when it comes to, he'll say if he doesn't know or if he's not sure or if it's his opinion. And the people that say that their way is the right way and they're always right are probably wrong because nobody's right all the time. And he's got this huge career history of handling some amazing things. And he still doesn't know everything, but he definitely knows more than I'll probably ever know. So I try to listen to people that I know a little more. There are elderly people, I will say, that I've gone to buy their collections, and I'll spend half a day there just listening to them tell me about their jewelry because they are not maybe a reseller, but they loved their jewelry and they know where it came from and they know who made it and they know the time period. So just be willing to take time out of your day to learn from people that know more than you because I have learned so much from just letting people tell me about their stuff and realizing that they do know. And also like the sellers at the flea markets that maybe I can't buy from because they're too expensive for me, but they know their stuff and they have really great higher end stuff. So I will ask them questions, especially if they're not busy. Lots of times they love sharing information with you. They will love answering your questions. Ask them if you can feel stuff or touch stuff or, compare the class, compare the back, compare signatures, and just absorb that information because every time you can touch a piece of jewelry you've never seen before, you're learning, and that is an asset to your business. So it's definitely worth your time spent every time. So I will wrap this one up. I'm going to do some more like brand deep dives and some more like collection type stuff because I think naming our jewelry is really important. Drop in the comments about that one piece, what you think about that. And also what else you'd like to hear, whether it's jewelry related or just business related. I'd love to make a video about it. And check us out on Reseller Revenue on Patreon. We meet Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Time. We are a smaller group. We're more of like a tight-knit community, but we love new people. We love new faces. We have, people coming in all the time here and there, and we just love hearing about what they're doing in reselling. We are not geared towards all full-time or all part-time. We have a lot of retirees in our group, and they all bring different backgrounds that bring a lot to our community because we all have different backgrounds that brought us where we are now and can help propel us forward. So if your goal is to just make enough money to pay for your cruise a year and you meet that, then that means you're every bit as successful as a full-timer making $200,000 because you met your goal. That's how I measure success. So while we do niche down nitty gritty business topics a lot, everybody has to take it in the way that's going to work for them. There's no right or wrong way, in my opinion. There are some better structure ways to do things, and I will tell you my opinions on that, but how you use them, everybody can be a winner in their own way on that if you're willing to put in the work. And I feel like we do a great job of supporting each other in that and helping each other. We also have other calls that follow the morning call, and one of them is the jewelry call, and that is on Tuesdays. And I do that with Lynn from Finds of Yesterday. If you haven't checked out her YouTube, go check it out. She sells jewelry also, and she helps me do that call. And there's some great jewelry sellers in that call. And all we do is we bounce off topics, we bounce off conversation, we show each other our best sales, some finds, we get opinions on each other's sourcing. If you want to share, like, hey, maybe I could get this haul. What do you think? Sometimes I'll ask questions like, what do you see in this lot? What would be important to you? Type of things. And love the jewelry call. It usually lasts about an hour and a half right after the morning call. They also, all these things are all recorded on the Patreon. So if you're a member, you get to listen to all the calls we've had before. And so if you can't make the live calls, that's no problem. You can listen to them later. Our Facebook page isn't like super, super active, but we're usually watching the replays. And there's probably about 20 of us that get together every morning, which is awesome. And also we do have the one-on-one coaching available to members for $50, and the people that are not members, you can still get the one-on-one coaching with me for $75, and you just PM me or email me either way and just let me know you'd like a session. I have like 2 or 3 openings, I think, before the first of the year. So get your bookkeeping together. Let's get those taxes done. Don't sweat it, especially if we start off with a good system next year. We'll be ready to just hand it over to our accountant January 1st without any pressure at all. So I appreciate you guys. Check us out on Facebook, Patreon, and Instagram.